Hey, gorgeous ones. Okay, so July has been a rough month on my budget. I mean, so many ways to spend money was there, and I really tried to be good about things, but it just didn't happen. I mean, there was so much beautiful new makeup that was coming out. There was so much just awesome shit, and then like clearance sales and everything. So I tried, I really did, but it didn't work out. So I wanted to talk about, so like, okay, so for instance, a week ago or so, it was just like 1 week everything was coming out. We had the Norvina palettes coming out. Norvina, we had Ace Beauté, we had Juvia's Place surprised us with the Afrique. Wet n Wild came out with the Zodiac collection. Now, I mean, it's just ridiculous. July, I mean, everybody, you know what they said, everybody tries to do no by July to, you know, make it sound good and everything, but the companies was like, oh, okay, y'all think y'all gonna go in a no buy? Watch what we about to do to y'all. So with that being said, I didn't do well. So what I want to do is talk, I'm really trying to get through and really play with a lot of the things I have. And so the week of that, all those, the things I was really jonesing for was the Ace Beauté collection and the Norvina palette. They both were like, at first I was like Norvina, I was like, but ultimately I needed it all. So let's talk some of this. So what we're going to talk about is the Norvina palette and this Ace Beauté Paradise Fallen palette, because when I saw them, I was like, ooh, purple palettes, yes. It's just calling out to the things that we've been saying we want to see, right? So I wanted to get these. Really, I wanted the whole Ace Beauté, I wanted the whole collection, but when I saw this, the Ace Beauté, it really sealed the Norvina, because I was like, I wonder how these two compare. You know, looking at them, they're different, but let's see how they compare, y'all. So if you would like to see how Norvina compares to the Ace Beauté Paradise Fallen palette, what are my thoughts on it, the reviews, everything, we're gonna just dig deep into these. Don't go anywhere. All right, so let's talk palettes. These let's do the matchup. Boom boom. I should have like some boxing gloves, like, yes, we're gonna tap it out. Okay, but anyway, let's just talk about the palettes, and let me just tell you the process that I've now created for myself to deal with reviewing palettes and everything. The thing about when I'm doing a review, I think, you know, sometimes people rush so hard. You know, it's like a challenge as a YouTuber, beauty YouTuber. You want to be on top of things, but you also want to be honest and thorough about the things you're doing. So there's this like, do I rush and try to do everything? Because let me just be real with y'all. Unless somebody's just sitting in their house just playing and playing and playing, people are kind of, you know, you tend to rush, especially when you're a small YouTuber. You're trying to be in that first wave of, you know, conversation about the hottest things out there. So it can be challenging. So what I decided is I'm just gonna be me. So here's some things that I'm gonna tell you about. First off, in order to not have any bias, I haven't watched any reviews. I haven't watched any reviews on either one of these palettes. I haven't on the whole collection of Ace Beauté. I haven't looked at any for the Norvina palette. And the reason why is because I didn't want anything to influence my thought process on these palettes. Because what happens is, you know, even if you're not trying to, if you hear, oh, this is patchy, oh, this is this, oh, this, you're automatically subconsciously going to be looking for those things, and sometimes depending on who the person said it, you're gonna go, oh, okay, you know, because for one thing, it's different if you're a watcher of YouTube, but it's another when you're a creator, because as a creator, you know, I don't want to have any biases in my thought process. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, I wanted to make sure that I play with every color in these palettes, because I could do a look and the look could be awesome, but I've only like used 3, 4, maybe 5 you know, shades out of here, and there's all these other shades, and so I don't know how they work. So I didn't want to do any first impressions, really. You know, first impression with me is, oh, let's swatch it a little bit. So I'm going to do this. Now, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of swatching of these because that's not what I'm really here for. And I just got to be real with y'all, is that I honestly think, you know, people use that, you know, people, you know, make that like, oh my God, swatches and how many grams you get. Listen, let's just be real. Most of us really don't care about the grams. We care about the colors. We care about how it works, especially for many of us who have larger collections. We just want to know, does it work? Will it look good? You know, all those things. So here's what I'm going to say. And, you know, and for some of us, we like packaging. So how's the packaging look? So there we have it. So a butterfly, don't get on my, listen, butterfly, don't get on my Starbucks. You going to be butter crisp. Okay. So let's talk about, first things first, let's talk packaging. Because let's be honest, packaging, we love packaging. I mean, packaging, I'm not going to say you should buy something for the packaging, but beautiful packaging is part of it too. Because let's be real, yes, we want it to be good quality. Some of you, I don't care about packaging, but okay, I no lies here, I like packaging too. So if it's a great product and has great packaging, winner, winner, chicken dinner. So let's talk about the packaging. First off, we have the Norvina package, which is this classic ABH thing with this flocking. I don't like the flocking, let's be honest, because it's gonna get dirty. Not that I really care about dirty, but I'm just saying, this is just like, I know it's like their signature thing now that they do this flocking packaging, but I really think that they should have rethought that one. I know, you know, I really do, because so many people complain about how it gets dirty and everything, and it's going to get dirty. Let's just be honest with it. It's going to get dirty. And so, classic, you know, and they give you your brush and everything like they always do. Here is the packaging. Let me take this plastic off. So, as you can see, for the people who are my people, I actually wound up getting this one back. You know. Oh, and before I forget, because I didn't mention this, my first Norvina palette came with one of the shadows was shattered, and I reached out to them right away, and they took care of it so well and so quickly. So I wanted to give a shout out to the ABH customer service, also because it was seamless. They just told me to send a picture of it, you know, and with my billing, you know, a picture with my bill, my order information, and the, you know, so they could see them together with the order number, and they would get it out to me. They sent me an email saying, hey, we're processing it, we're gonna get it to you, and by Friday I had it. So I received it on Monday, I think I got it, and by Friday I had the new one was already here. So it took less than 4 days. So that was just awesome. So if you've never ordered from ABH, just know they have some of the best customer service ever. So I just thought I needed to add that in. Okay, bye-bye. But it's the classic, you get your brush, you know, Lord knows, you know, you wind up with a whole collection of these little ABH brushes. Awesome. Okay, so there's that. And now here is the packaging on the Paradise Fallen on Ace Beauté. Now this is a cardboard packaging. It does have, you know, a magnetic closure, which we love. But look at how beautiful this is. And it has some embossing in it just to write around the names. There's a small bit of embossing. But this is just so pretty. And I like it because see how sleek it is. Now see the difference. This is so much sleeker, and so I really like the sleekness of the packaging, and you know, and I love the, you know, the attention to detail. I put the name Paradise Fallen on the, you know, right here on this side. Really, that I love that stuff. Now, I'm not even gonna lie, I love it. Okay, so now let's open them. Let's open them. Okay, so now everybody, if you are on IG, we have seen all of these. You know, they got that little plastic thing. Okay, so we've all seen these. So here is the Norvina up close and personal. There's the Norvina. Okay, so there's the Norvina right there. Very pretty, very pretty. You're getting, what is this, 14 shadows. Ace Beauté. me put these right here by me. I'm so worried that I can't put that up there though, because that'll get dirty. And then of course they do have a mirror on this, a big mirror. Let me say about the mirrors, I don't really care about the mirrors. I know people be like, oh, it's got a mirror, it's so wonderful. I don't really care about the mirrors, just being real about it. However, I do like the attention to detail, because it has the same border around the mirror that it has around here. So I find the attention to detail beautiful. But now let's look at this packaging. Let's look at this one. And there's this one. Okay. Now, let's compare them. I have notes about both of them, you know, how they wear and everything. I will do some swatching of some of the colors, but not all of them, because it's, you know, everybody's gonna do swatches. I want to talk about the wearability, the things like that are more important. So let's go ahead and talk. Now, first off, I'm gonna start with the Norvina palette. Now, this is what I'm gonna say about the Norvina palette. When it first came out, we saw the first pictures. It was like, oh, a purple palette. Oh my God, a purple palette. And you know, when we saw, because first they showed this, and everybody's like, oh my God, it's gonna be a purple palette. Oh my God. Because we have been dying for purple palettes. I don't know about everybody else, but I know I've been dying for really good purples. You know, the thing is, we are, you know, there's so much that we're looking for outside of the warm neutrals and everything. Not to say those are bad, but you know, these are the things that have been lacking in the last few years when you're talking about, you know, eyeshadow palettes. So everybody saw this, was like, oh my God, it's going to be a purple palette. And then they revealed, and the one thing I do like about Anastasia, you can like bend it back. They revealed it, and everybody had this womp womp moment, like, oh my God, it's not a purple palette. Now, yes, it has purple in it. Everybody's like, it's only got one good purple in it. So here's what I'm gonna say is that I was on that train too when I first. I was like, oh, okay, they've played with our emotions. But then I heard what Norvina said about the palette itself, which was, this were the colors for her. Like, you know, she created a palette for her. Which, then once I said that, I said, okay, well then I'm cool with it. You know, that makes sense. So here is the thing that I'm going to say about that. We have to get off of this about this palette. Like, it failed because it's not the color scheme. She gave us the color scheme that she would wear. Just like Soft Glam is the one for her mom. So first you have Soft Glam, which was, you know, colors that Anastasia wears, and then she came right back out with the Norvina palette. If you think of it, it makes so much sense from a marketing standpoint. Anastasia's now Norvina's. So I'm fine with it. This is her palette. Now, what I will say is that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, because I honestly thought there was more. I thought there was brown. In the pictures that I saw, it looked very brown and purple, which irritated, which I am no lies. I was like, okay. But let's talk. So we have 7 shimmers, 7 mattes. Now, the thing is, we have one true purple, which is Soul. And I love this color. Now, let me say, it is a little shimmer. It has a little shimmer in it. So it is not a true matte. It has a little shimmer, but not so much that it's bad. Now on me, let me say, on my complexion, this looks beautiful. The only thing that I did hear outside, and someone said that this purple make them look bruised. Okay, well maybe on somebody lighter than me. But on me, this is a beautiful, beautiful lavender color. Now, what I was concerned about was volatile, because I was like, ugh, okay, why we always got to have browns? But in actuality, this is a nice mauve color. So this is a mauve. This is a gray tone mauve, and when you see them together like side by side, you'll see it. So it's not brown, it is mauve. Yes, we get a lot of mauves, but so what? But if you look at them together, and then the other one that I had thought was brown was this one, Passion, which I thought was, ugh, okay, everybody got to put a little brown in it, but she did not. This is what I said. This is a deeper mauve, you know, with a little brown in it. So So here's what I'm gonna say. I love the palette. I'm just gonna be honest. Once I looked at it from that perspective, the color scheme works for me. It's not that I'm looking at it like, ugh, they didn't do a good job on doing a purple palette. They just play with my emotions. No. Norvina made a palette that she likes, that works with the colors that she loves to wear on her eyes, and it's very cohesive, which unlike the Prism palette, this is a very cohesive palette. All these mattes work well together, and you can look at them and see that they will. Are they the most intense? No, they are not, but they give you a soft, beautiful purple mauve-y vibe to your eyes. Now I'm going to say that for now, and now let's talk about the colors over here. So we're going to go back and forth. So color wise, I think it's a good palette. I'm not going to sit up here and bust them out and say this ain't a good palette. It's a good palette, once you look at it that way. And I also look at it from the fact that it's a very good palette for, which is what Anastasia does a lot of. It's a very good palette for everyday person who wants to wear purples, someone who's not as comfortable with deeper, brighter colors. It's a perfect palette for that. Now let's talk Ace Beauty, Paradise Fallen. Now this is a purple palette. It really is a purple palette. That's a purple palette. You see all those beautiful tones of purple. This one is a 12 pan, and it has 4 shimmers and 8 mattes. And they even went so far as to give you some cool tone of this beautiful gray. And it's so interesting because I have been saying that I wanted some matte grays, and they came through with this color right here, this pure, and this stone. Yes, gorgeous, gorgeous. And now here's the only thing, and if you see it, everything, and then and the other thing with this one was the same thing. When I saw it, I was kind of disappointed because I was looking at this color here, and this color. Well, the stone is fine, but it was these colors, vine and cypress tree, and I was like, okay, so they had to throw some browns in. They didn't even need to do that. Now, once I swatched them, I saw the difference, and I was like, oh, okay, so now this is a cooler tone, and this is a warmer tone brown, because this has a little, burgundy, so it's more of like a burgundy brown right here, right there, and then this is a cooler tone brown, right? Now there. Now, let me just say, the one thing that I felt like they didn't need to put in this palette, and then I think this would have improved this palette, was they could have got rid of this color here, this blackout right here. And the reason why I say that is because it was not necessary. And everyone says, oh, you need a dark color to deepen your corner. Oh, it would make it complete if it had a dark brown or black. Okay, listen, let's talk about deepening your corner, your outer corner. It's about creating depth in that corner. You don't need that in this one. You don't need it because this color right here, shadow, is such a deep, beautiful, beautiful purple that's all you need to deepen your corners, especially with such a tonally beautiful palette. Because this right here, the cypress tree, will work if you're gonna go with a more browny tone, and this right here is going to work if you're dealing with the more cooler tones and everything. And to be quite honest, this is not the best black ever, but that's okay to me too, because sometimes blacks in palettes are so intense that they're hard to work with, because you really have to tap and tap, because it'll go too far too quick. Whereas this is like more of a dusty black. This is a very dusty, and excuse my, I'm terrible at this part, swatching. It's more of a dusty black. It's not an intense black. I have more intense blacks, like the Blossom Blush Try palette has a very intense black. Creepy Cute has a really intense black. Blackout by Urban Decay, very intense blacks. So this was unnecessary because, like I said, this right here, Shadow, which is this deep, oh my God, this beautiful ass purple, y'all. Look at that purple. That's all you need to really deepen your corner. So I personally think they could have gotten rid of that blackout and given us like a lighter toned purple. So then this whole row would have been purple. So because these are mid-tones and deeps, and if they had put like a lavender in here, a lavender matte, you know, maybe just a little sketch above this, like a little bit similar to the soul in here, this one right here, about that color in there, and that would have been like, I'd have been like, even though, don't get me wrong, I love this palette. So all in all, what I'm gonna say is like, from a color scheme, they're pretty well. They both did well. So I say that's a tie on different levels, because this Norvina is good if you are somebody who doesn't want, not ready for the depth of these purples. This is an intense one that you have to be ready for these colors. You know, this one you have to be ready for. This is an easier use for the average person. The average person who wants to have that purpley mauvey lavender look will love Norvina, whereas people like me, who, you know, people who have really large collections and things, this is a good one for them, because this gives you a beautiful, beautiful color story. Boom, there we have it. All right, so let's talk about the shadows themselves. Now, I know people talk shit about them, but I'm gonna tell you, I've used every shadow in here. I put every shadow on my eyes. So here's what I normally do. I do create one good look to begin with. This is the Norvina palette that I'm using right here on my eyes. Let me let you guys get in. And excuse my lashes, they tripping. And on this one I used, did I use Soul? I think, no, I used Soul last night. I used Incense and Eccentric right there, and then I used a little of the Passion in the outer corner, and I used Love on my lid. I did a cut crease. I put Love on there, which is this beautiful matte pink, and then I layered on top of it Dazzling right. I layered the Dreamer on top because I wanted to give it that effect. So I wanted to use the pink, but I wanted to give it a little shimmer. So I layered a little Dreamer on top of it, and then I used Wild Child in my inner corners. And I used Soul underneath the eye. So I used a bunch of colors on this look. And before then, I had used the other colors also, Volatile and things like that, yesterday when I was playing with it. So I make sure that I use every color, because a lot of times what I'll do is I will sit in my room and I will create each eye will have a different look using different colors, so I can see how they blend, how they play together, things like that. And I do the same exact type of base, which is I use my Tarte Shape Tape, and I set it with my Coty Airspun, so it has the same effect every time I do this, so that I can see, because this is how I normally use them. So I'm here to say that they all worked well. They are not too powdery, you know. They don't have a lot of kick up. If you can see, you don't see a lot of kick up on these. Now these are very soft, no lie. The shimmers are extremely soft. And let me check my notes, because I had some notes about it. Okay, right, okay. Now, the thing about them is that you do need to spray your brush, or you need to use your finger, because because a lot of times I will try to use them dry with a brush just to see how they perform like that. These do not perform that well. That you get very little payoff on them, so you do need to go ahead, use a glitter primer, or you spray your brush, or, you know, use your fingers to get the best consistency. Now the only one that I will say is Drama right here. Now Drama is the darkest one, and honestly when I put it on, it was not that, it didn't look that good. It was okay. But here's the way you can make them look good, is that if you take this Drama and then you layer it, because a lot of times we act like we can't do those things. If you layer it, and the ones I saw that it layered best with was with the Rose Gold and the Dazzling right next to it. So if you take this color right here, and then you take a little bit on your finger. Now I would wet this and set this on, and then just give it a little zhuzh with like the dazzling, and then you'll see the difference. It gives it a beautiful effect. So I'm saying, so that's the one shadow that I was like not impressed with. The rest of them work really well. Dreamer is an intense one, so it's really like you have to be ready for that champagne-y, because that baby is intense. So all in all, it's a beautiful palette. The other one that I will say, you know, we've been having a lot of interludes before noon. I don't think it's even noon yet, y'all. It might be noon, I don't know. But anyway, the only one that I will say that I wasn't thrilled with on the mattes is Eccentric. And I think that's just about my complexion, because it really does not show up on me. I mean, now I'm sure on other people, you know, like when I was trying to use it, it doesn't show up that well. Like, it doesn't even show up that well on me with a brush. So I really would have to build that up and build it up to get to that level. But they all do play together well. I didn't have any problems where, you know, it doesn't look good. They blended very well. They were up to the ABH standard of eyeshadows that we expect. So all in all, I like this, and I'm not gonna say it's a bad palette, because it's not. Now, is it the colors that everybody wants and wanted out of this beautiful purple? No, but it was Norvina's palette, and so I'm not mad at the palette. So this one is good. Now, Ace Beauty. Let's talk about Ace Beauty. All right. So now I've played with this, and now the reason why I really got into this is because Miss Tara Wood, one of my subscribers, she sent me the quintessential, and I had already played with it, and I was like, ooh, their shadows are nice. So if these shadows are gonna be as good, all right. And I will say these are. Now, I already talked about the differences in these browns, okay? But here's what I'm gonna say. Here's the things that like I said, the blackout is not that intense. I didn't need it, but okay, if they want to give it to you to deep. But if you feel like you need a black to deepen your outer V, you have a black. It's not the deepest, but once again, it's good enough to do what you need to do, which is deepen the corners. This isn't about, you know, wearing black eyeshadow, so this is a perfect one. Now, the only one that I will say is that Night Sky right here. It is not, it's a little bit lighter, it's a little drier, and it's a little bit lighter than, you know, than it looks in the pan. Like in the pan, it looks a little bit deeper and more intense. It's actually a little lighter. However, I like to use it to, you know, layer things, because I'm big on layering. So like I would take Night Sky and layer it like on top of Dusk, or even on top of this Pure, and create a different color. So it's a really good one. So it's not that intense. Now, once again, these shimmers need to be, you know, with a brush, wet brush, or with your fingers, because just like the ABH ones, they do not perform with a dry brush, but many of them don't just in general. So this is not bad for them. I also say, like, of these, this one, the Night Sky, is more of the shimmer, and the ones and the Twilight is more of a shimmer, where these, the Moon Glow and the Orion, are a little more, you know, intense. They're a little brighter. They're, you know, they come off much more metallic on the skin. So those are pretty. Now, all of the shadows, and I've used them all, work wonderfully together. It's very easy. Now here, I'm gonna put that, look, let me just forget. Here's a look that I did with them, because of course I'm not putting on makeup today, but here's a look that I did with them really quickly. I did a really quick halo. I used, I can't remember now. I cannot remember. I have to think about that. But I know I did a really quick halo. It was so easy. I was just like, all right, because the colors were very blendable, yet they didn't become muddied. The mattes are beautiful. Now, of course, there's a little powder, but you want some powder. I mean, this whole thing about, oh, there's fallout. Oh, I would rather have a little powderiness than something that's hard pan almost when you get it. You know, then you're going to complain that you can't get it out with a brush. So, you know, everybody can't be happy, but can we just be real about that? So these work really well together. They blend very well. They do not muddy up. The pigmentation is there, because like when I was using Pure right here, it came out so beautifully on the eye, because it looks kind of light right there, but it's actually a little more it's a little darker on this. It comes out really nicely. I mean, look at that beautiful gray. So it gives you what you need to create different looks. So if you're not really cool tone, super cool tone, it gave you a little warm tones so that you can make this, so it can work in a way that you can have a good look. This, I think, is a really well done you know, this is a very well done palette. They really put some thought in it, and they really made sure that it was it would be easy to work with. Like I said, the only thing I said is they could have got rid of that blackout and put in something similar to Soul that's in the Norvina palette. So all in all, what do I think about these? I think they're both good. Do they compare to each other? Absolutely not. But for someone like me, having them both is awesome, because the Norvina palette is one of those nice soft, it's like the soft glam, it's like the lavender purple pinky soft glam. It's similar to the soft glam, but in a different colors and more cool tones, whereas the Paradise Fallen is a beautiful purple palette. Now is it, you know, so for me, I love them both. Boom, they are both winners. Now, let me know if you have the Norvina, if you have this one. Tell me your thoughts about them in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new and made it this far in this long ass video, make sure that you go on and hit the subscribe button on your way out. It's just a polite thing to do when you hang out on somebody's YouTube channel. All right, it's your Lulu. Be bold, be brave, be fearless, be purple. See you later.